Welcome to the November 19th, 2024 City Council meeting, City Hall Chamber. Start with the prayer. Dear God, today's the session opens. We pray that your presence will be before us and everyone who serves in the decision-making process of our city. We pray for direction which lead our city to be strong and unified. May we continue the legacy of our founders. May we be granted this day the wisdom to make decisions which will be for the good of our city. We also pray for your special blessing on all those who are working to transform our city, make it a better place to live and work. Amen. Please salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll. Yeah.
Council Noon.
Here.
Council Robinson.
Here.
Mayor Rourke.
Here.
Council Scott.
Here.
Council Yem. Council Belanger.
Here.
Council Chow.
Here.
Council Dakota.
Here.
Council Gitchia.
Here.
Council Janess.
Here.
Council Mercia. And present.
A moment of silence this evening. Moving on, Section 2, Mayor's Business 2.1, Communication for Remote Zoom Participation. A motion to accept the place on file by Council Belanger, second by Council Chow. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes. 3.1, Minutes of the Economic Downtown Development Subcommittee, November 12th. City Council meeting, November 12th. Senior Citizens Subcommittee, November 14th, for acceptance by Council Mercia, second by Council Gitchia. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes. Not yet 7 o'clock yet. We'll kick to the City Council motions, Section 5, 5.1. Council Robinson. Request City Manager explore and provide a report back on utilizing Massachusetts pre-apprenticeship and vocational school training program to supplement city workforce. Seconded by Councilor Noon. Councilor Robinson.
Thank you. I stumbled across this program. I believe it's through the Mass Municipal website. And DOT, Mass Highway, they have the hand on this program. They're also kind of incentivizing seniors, high school seniors that want to get into this kind of work. And they'll cover CDL licensing. They get a credit towards that upon graduation. And I think, you know, we've heard many times how we look to supplement the workforce in a couple different areas, whether it be water department, wastewater, whatever it may be. I think this might be a good opportunity to see if in fact the city of Lowell qualifies to be a partner with the organizations that already rolled this plan out. And we have some vocational schools in the area that maybe if kids are interested in pursuing this kind of career path, might be something to work in with Mass Career Center. And as well, I believe they send them out to the union training facilities as part of this program to get them like the OSHA cards or OSHA certification. So I mean, they're offering some pretty good things. I think it's something worth taking a look at. Thank you.
All those in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes. Moving on, section 6, motion responses. A, MBTA communities. Council Belanger.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Before I comment, I'll avert to DPD Director Giovanni Rose Baez for an overview, please.
Thank you. So the city, this is an opportunity to really discuss something that the council adopted, frankly, a while ago that we've been waiting for the state to confirm. The city, as we all know, falls within the state's MBTA communities zoning legislation. Communities were expected to pass their legislation by the year end. This council made efforts to move that sort of faster than we needed to, and were able to adopt that last November, actually, so we've had it for quite a while. We were able to, once we adopted it locally, we had to submit our zoning information to the state for their final approval to ensure that what we adopted here in Lowell was consistent with what the state had expected. And so it took quite a while for the state. As you can imagine, they have lots of communities that are sending them information. So we were formally notified by the state in September, at the end of September, that our MBTA zoning ordinance overlay is in compliance with the state, which is great news for us. Because, you know, it encourages more development here in Lowell, is consistent with our efforts to open up housing opportunities, but also, in addition to allowing the city to maintain eligibility for a number of existing state grants, the state has started to roll out new grant opportunities. So there is a new MBTA Catalyst Fund grant opportunity that's created and is only available to the 33 communities that have approved MBTA overlay zones by the state. And so Lowell is one of 33 communities right now that is eligible for this. We've already talked to the state staff at EOHLC about ways that we can utilize this funding. It's very flexible, allows for infrastructure to support the creation of housing. It allows us to invest funds directly into housing production. So we're really, I think, fortunate that we were aggressive on our timeline, because it puts us in advance of a lot of the other communities. Those funds are being accepted on a rolling basis, and so the fact that Lowell can submit early, I think, gives us a better chance of seeing successful projects. We are also already starting to see some projects come into the land use board staff that are utilizing this zoning. In advance of the council formally adopting the zoning, we had heard from developers about their interest, and they were kind of waiting to see if the council would adopt it and what the zoning would look like. And so since that time, we've already started to have projects come in front of the boards and are utilizing this zoning. So we're already starting to see the progress and positive result of the adoption of this zoning.
Thank you very much. That was excellent. And this was a motion response from last Tuesday's meeting. That was sort of fast-tracked due to time constraints, as we had a dialogue on a homeless issue that took well over 2 hours. And to see an important initiative like that get rushed, and, you know, for time constraints we were under, it's no one's fault. You know, I think it's important that we get, so what I wanted to do to get this back on the floor this evening, to let the viewers at home know that, you know, we're working on much more in the city, and we have a lot of positive things going on. And it's not just the homelessness issue that's been, you know, dominating a lot of time as of late. This is a very, very important housing development initiative, and to DPD Director Giovanni Rose, the administration, and my colleagues as I just arrived here, great work in fast-tracking this, as we are one of only 30-some-odd cities to be in compliance. So that means we won't lose any state money, as we were one of the first ones to be in compliance on this. So, so Giovanni, to you again, what are we, now that we are in compliance, we know the zone, what are we doing for outreach to developers and or, you know, current landowners too? Do they know about this and the potential, if you will? So if you could answer that, please.
So right now, basically anytime a project or a landowner comes into development services that owns a property within the district, the staff are making sure that they know that they are located in the district, and explaining to them kind of what that actually means. In addition to that, right now you can go online to the city's website and our GIS and pull up a map, so it'll tell you whether or not your property is in the district or not. We often also get approached by developers before they're owners, interested parties that are, just looking around on properties. And anytime that happens, we also ensure that we take the time to let folks know that the property that they're looking at is within the district. And that's sort of a word of mouth. I think every developer in the state at this point is aware of the MBTA communities. And so, they are actively seeking out that information a lot of times. The state also has a pretty robust website that they're keeping updated regularly as communities adopt the zoning. So right now you could go onto EOHLC's website on the state and see the 33 communities that have a full approved plan. Lowell is, of course, listed on that, so it helps us cast a wider net.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I do understand that, active developers are very frequently in the know, on especially a project of this scale. But could we potentially do some outreach to, letters of notification, Giovanni, to the property owners rather than hope, them coming in we hope they come in the office and notify. I think if we can do a little marketing and outreach on this, I think that would help us out. Because this is the potential for hundreds and hundreds of housing units right near the commuter rail, not much requirements for parking, if any at all, due to it's near the bus route and commuter rail to Boston. It's, as many of us district councilors, this is my citywide mission to increase the tax base any way we can. Okay, the homeowners need relief. This is basically the only way to do it, to get them relief, is to create new tax growth. So congratulations, you and your department did a great job on this initiative. We are out front in many communities. So let's get the word out as best we can and see if we can get some development, some activity along these locations. It extends from downtown to Little Cambodia to the Hamilton Canal, so it's quite a swath of property. So very exciting. Congratulations. So look forward to future updates. Thank you very much.
Council Noon.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's a great news. I'm happy that the city of Lowell, approved with the MBTA community zoning overlay, and I like the idea as well that we should do, outreach to property and landowners in the area, half-a-mile radius. So since the adoptions, how many projects did we receive in the new zoning district?
So at this time, we've had four projects that are that have been approved, and then we have one project that is currently under review, and then we don't count folks that have just come in to talk to us, and so I'd say we've had probably at least another 5 developers who own property that are within this zone that are in very early stages of just some initial pre-development.
Would you be able to tell us as to how many of those projects that is within the JAM area?
2.
2, right? So what is the total number of residential unit from all these 4 or 5, potential 5 projects, if you know?
70, and then 118. So we've had around 70 units approved. No, yeah, right? Yeah, 70 units approved, and then we have another 118 that are under review. And then I would assume that based on the number that we've seen, We have another large project that's in very early stages that was like another 80 to 90 units, and then smaller projects. So we probably have another 100 units that are in like not under review, almost in like pre-development stages.
Thank you. This is very good news in terms of, you're talking about building the housing stock up, and also not only that, but also a tax revenue to the city. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Councilor Robinson.
Thank you. I'd just like to thank everyone that was involved in really spearheading this and pushing this initially. I think a point that was raised that's very important is, again, we've seen with inflation and everything, taxes and everything had to go up repeatedly. And I think Councilor Belanger was right. I think this is how you offset what would be significant increases by increasing inventory and increasing the tax roll. The more units coming on, I mean, hopefully that helps long-term planning, and thank you. That's almost 200 units already, and this is just getting rolled out. Like, that's amazing. And this also covers the whole stretch that we've been talking, Middlesex into the downtown and beyond, correct? Well, thank you very much.
Moving on, motion response B, public pools. Councilor Robinson.
Thank you. Yeah, this is great. I'm glad to see that there is going to be a commitment to really preserve what we have, and I know everyone's well aware of the importance of preserving the two last pools that the city owns and operates, so I look forward to hopefully some funding streams in the future being allocated to it. Any other additional ideas, again, whether it's a concession idea like I brought forward, maybe to help offset just with the maintenance and upkeep of splash pads and pools, I look forward to it. Thank you.
Councilor Getchia.
Thank you, Mayor Rourke. I think this report is very eye-opening, and it says that in our city we have two pools. One's in the South Common, and I think we might have had 2 kids in it all summer. For the 6 weeks, we didn't have many people in it. So it's really disturbing when you read, it says a study, and of course it's from 2017, so it's a little bit old, of the USA Swimming Foundation found 79% of children in families with incomes under $50,000 have no or low swimming experience. And I think that shows the investment, and we're surrounded by water in the city. And we got to get better at this, and this is just, we deleted a swimming pool from a high school where, we could actually engage people in a phys ed program and actually try to get them the skills they need around the city. So it's disturbing to watch when it says this goal established by the state does mean that there are great grant opportunities that can be supported investments in public swimming pools. McPherson and South Common are both located within income-eligible census tracts for use of CDBG funding. And I think that it's important that we put these funds that way, but I'm not sure how, if we don't get these areas cleaned up, it's going to actually work, Mr. Mayor. So I applaud the report, but I think that the lack of investment through the years to the swimming pools has really failed the city. And, if it was the state cutting back, as it says, as budgets get tight, we cut pools because it's the, high expense. I think we did ourselves a disjustice in those areas.
Yeah, and because we use the MBTA, the MSBA to Lowell High, we couldn't put a pool in there. So
No, I understand that. But we also did it at O'Donnell's. We also did it at Shed Park. We've did it at a number of pools where they just needed some maintenance to keep up the upkeep. And you remember when you were a kid, Mr. Mayor, at Shed Park was completely filled with kids either learning how to swim or swimming and everything. And I think that we...
very, very rarely at Ship Park as a kid. Councilor Getchia.
You were there. You were there.
maybe the Bartlett more likely, but yeah.
I remember chasing you around there on your
Ship
bicycle.
Park, yeah. Uh-huh. Any other comments? All right. C, motion response, petition state delegation, expansion of mental health service at state hospitals. Councilor Belanger.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through you to the manager. Mr. Manager, I got your motion response, and very well written. I think it explains in detail our needs, which I like to think they're all familiar with as well. So with that being said, did you send that to the delegation, and where are we? Any responses, or where are we at now?
Mr. Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, through to the council. Yes, council, that did go out to the delegation. Preemptively, I did speak with Representative Elliott, Representative Howard, and newly elected Representative Hong, and we've discussed meeting in the coming weeks to have this discussion about where we need to be. And at that time, I also had the opportunity to speak with a representative from Congresswoman Trahan's office.
Excellent, excellent, because please, stress, we can't stress enough the need that we need to help these individuals. We just had, we all saw, well, most of us saw last week's meeting that went well over 2 hours on this issue, and a certain percentage of this demographic is mentally ill, and need the proper services. And out on the streets, freelancing is not the answer. That's where we're at. We need help desperately, and it lies with them. I think on a local level, this council is doing everything it possibly can financially, as well as offering services to help these individuals, but the state really needs to step up. I mean, I was recently out at Tewksbury State Hospital, and that's just one in the area. A huge swath of land. My God. Wow. Beautiful, tranquil, to me, conducive to rehabilitation, not on Appleton Street in Lowell or Merrimack Street in Lowell. It's these several abandoned buildings, so I can understand why this was created for mental health rehabilitation. And that's what it needs to get back to. Because cities like us are getting hurt really, really bad. These individuals are hurting really bad. And this is the place, environments like this is where they should be. So I cannot stress enough, Mr. Manager. So please update us as soon as you have that meeting with the delegation. And I look forward to their response. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor.
Councilor Dakota.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm glad to hear from the city manager that he has spoken to the delegation and a representative from Congresswoman Trahan's staff. Do we have a timetable on a reply? I mean, I know also would ask that, has there been any communication from your office to the governor's office?
Mr. Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, through to the council. Yes, I have been talking with the Lieutenant Governor specifically on this issue about this challenge. We've been talking to the Secretary Augustus as well to find out how we can get to this, get to some type of answer. But getting back to the delegation, and that has not materialized an answer yet. But Secretary Augustus is going to be sending a couple of folks. I wish I could remember Gordy's last name. I apologize, but he's directly involved over at the Health and Human Service side. So I'll be speaking with the administration in the next, probably after Thanksgiving, the same with the delegation. We'll be bringing them in after Thanksgiving, which is only 10 days away or so, 11 days away.
Well, I'm glad to hear it.
Obviously, this will be happening in
spending so much time as we did last Tuesday discussing this, that this matter is urgent, and we need some answers. So I appreciate your effort.
Councilor Getchia.
Thank you, Mayor Rourke. This is a long overdue conversation that we've been trying to push for some time. And with the cold weather coming and everything, I'm sure we're seeing more people come around to use these services. So hopefully we start seeing some payback quick so we can get more services to people that are reaching out to you. Thank you again, Mr. Manager.
Okay, moving on, 6.2, information report, Monster Bash. Mr. Manager.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, through you to the council. Another successful Monster Bash, and we took the liberty of adding to it a little bit in the downtown area. And I just want to say thank you very much to our friends at Enterprise Bank, who consistently they're always there to help us. They're always there to offer their parking area, and it's a very, very nice event. I have to say that Case, Melissa DeRoges, Peter Crew, and the whole gang down there did a fabulous, fabulous job, and I'm hearing the weather was fabulous, and people really enjoyed themselves. But I'd like to turn it over to Mr. Crew just to run through a few things. Peter?
Thank you, Mr. Manager. Thank you all. I'll be very brief, I promise. I did want to just take a quick time to recap sort of Monster Bash as well as look forward to how we might be able to do more with events going forward. So that's really what we'll do tonight, is just sort of recap briefly what we did this year, as well as take a beat to look forward in next year and the future. So Monster Bash, as you know, is a long-time collaboration between the City of Lowell and the Kiwanis Club of Greater Lowell. working in partnership to really make a great event for the city. They do just a fantastic job now transforming this building into a haunted house for all ages. And we've really seen that grow over, this would be the third year that they've been here, bringing folks, and JFK Plaza transforming with all of our nonprofit partners to really bring things together. The expansion this year with Pumpkins and Pints, really brought sort of a new audience to this event as well, in terms of making it really an event for all ages. The weather super cooperated with us this year, which was excellent. And it's just becoming a really, really great event. Brief recap of the footprint this year. Monster Bash itself takes place predominantly City Hall and JFK Plaza. We had 15 organizations joining us for the Neighborhood Haunt this year, representing wide swaths of the city, representation from MPS, police, fire, lots of city services. The Bookmobile was out there. They just did an incredible day, even got some people to sign up for library cards and rent books out of it, so it was a really, really great day. Pumpkins and Pints, for our first year doing it, was really unusually successful for a brand new event in terms of the amount of folks that turned out working with us for that. We had some really great music, great partnerships with Navigation Brewery, food trucks and local providers and things like that. We also set records this year with downtown trick-or-treating. We had over 40 individual organizations join us this year. This is by far the most organizations that we've ever had in a single year sign up for trick-or-treating. The map up there shows a snapshot. Almost every business as well at Mill 5 participated in downtown trick-or-treating this year. So it was a huge, huge turnout, both in terms of organizations and in terms of people participating in downtown trick-or-treating this year. And we really worked this year, as we've been doing throughout the year, to sort of elevate our inclusivity at events and make sure that anybody who's coming to an event at City Hall or produced by the city feels welcome and appreciated and able to enjoy the event. And we are seeing a lot of response to that. As one of the things that we included this year with Monster Bash for the first time was including designated family quiet areas. So folks with young kids who either need a break, nursing moms, neurodivergent folks that just need like sort of a sensory break. We had real designated areas where folks could just chill out for a minute if they needed, or if they needed some private time. And we took steps to include multiple language access for those spots as well, working in partnership with the library and the health department. This is a continuation of things that we've started throughout the year and we're going to continue to do and see more of at events going forward. We're also really working with Diandra and the communications team to really broaden our marketing of events and make sure folks are aware of everything that we're doing. I won't go through the full slide for you here, but we're really working to sort of increase awareness both in Lowell and in the surrounding communities with what we're doing, and really try to draw folks in to do that. And really working to sort of up our social media game as well in terms of reaching new folks with a real mix of both in print, digital, traditional media, and social media to really reach a broad swath of folks. And this just real quick sort of sums up the spend summary for what we did in terms of marketing Monster Bash this year. You'll see it was a really broad split between social media and sort of traditional legacy media in terms of what that is. We are aware there's definitely audience in Lowell that still relies on traditional radio, TV, print ads to get their marketing out. And we're making sure that we're doing that as well as utilizing sort of new media to do that. And that's having some real success for us in terms of what that is. This also sort of encapsulates the various channels we use to get information out about our events. And we got a lot of terrific feedback from the event this year as well. A lot of direct response from the community themselves, as well as we put out a survey to all of the participating businesses that did downtown trick-or-treating this year. And we got a tremendous amount of positive response from that, as well as we can say, of the responses we got back, 72% said that events like Monster Bash helped them generate new business. So they're really eager to work with us on that. And just about overwhelmingly positive response across the board, both from the business community and from people who were attending the event. Which brings us to looking ahead. You know that both Case and the city council, the manager's office, we all want to see more events happening in Lowell. We want to be able to see ourselves and us do things more effectively and with more flexibility, right? And one of the ways we can do that is by making more of an upfront sort of investment in our ability to do events. And one of the things that would really do that for us is investing in smarter ways to do road closures through installing infrastructure that'll help us close roads faster and more efficiently. And there's plenty of different sort of technology out there that does that, but what it makes us able to do is do events faster and limit the cost over time as well by doing that. So we sort of looked at that and looked at some of the key areas where we do events regularly throughout the year and where making some of these kinds of investments might help us do more events in the future. We looked at sort of 3 or 4 main principal areas where events happen throughout the year. First one, of course, being right outside this building on the Worthing Street extension. We close that pretty regularly throughout the year for different kinds of events. And it would be a really good fit for something like this if we were to do that. Another area being, of course, French Street in front of Boarding House Park. And I can say already that Ting and Liz and the team are already incorporating that into plans for that section of the street. So that's already something that we're looking forward to, and it's going to make a big change over there, as well as helping to reduce some costs for things like the summer music series and events that happen over there. So we're really excited about that when that comes online. Another area that we definitely want to look at, and we've talked about with this council a lot, is the cross at Middle Street and Palmer Street. Installing bollards there in a few different sections would allow us to do different things, as well as give us some flexibility to keep Middle Street open. For instance, if we wanted to close both blocks of Palmer, we could do that and still allow through traffic for the residents and things like that, or close individual sections. So it would really just allow us to be really modular in what we're doing based on the size of the event and based on what we want to do in terms of what that is. And also not included on the slide here, but Market Street is Market Street between Palmer and Shattuck would be another prime example to do something like that. So that sort of sums up really quickly what we did with Monster Bash and what we are thinking about for the future, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Councilor Janess.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Crew, for the presentation. I have to say congratulations to you and your team, everybody at Case, DPW, LPD, and anyone else I'm not mentioning who pitched in. Monster Bash was hugely successful. Saw you down at Pumpkins and Pints, which was a great time. I had fun. My wife had fun. The dog had fun. It's a win for everybody. It was really just a fantastic day, and it really showed what we can do downtown, and it's great. I think that the bollard idea is a fantastic idea, and it could really open the door to be able to close streets for more events, to do it quickly, to do it safely, and to do it with less equipment and less manpower. I think there's wins all around there. I would suggest one other place we may want to think about adding them would be the top of Shattuck Street on the Merrimack Street side. I don't know if they can be in the crosswalk or something, just to be able to close down Shattuck Street for some events might be something to consider. I know we just, had that recobbled, so we probably don't want to disturb it too much, but just wanted to throw that out there. But thank you again.
Councilor Robinson.
Thank you. I just like to thank Case, and I love the proposed locations 3 and 4. I think that makes a lot of sense. I believe, Mr. Mayor, you and myself put a motion forward to try to do more of this in downtown. I think it with the bollards, that opens up that whole cross diagram there and access to the Enterprise Bank parking lot when they allow us to use that as well. But I think just that diagram, proposed locations 3 and 4 alone, lend itself to a variety of events, and I thank you for all you're doing.
Councilor Belanger.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, through you to Peter. Peter, great job by your department on this event. I was able to attend, and it was nice, coming through the downtown in the afternoon to see all those families coming from City Hall with smiles on their faces and Halloween costumes. That was really, really nice to see. And, you know, you had the pumpkin and pipes in the Enterprise lot, and thank you to them for being a community partner. I was able to stay and take in a few adult beverages, if you will, and it was very well attended. You know, just in the last few months, I've been to, along with my colleagues, I think 3 grand openings in downtown restaurants, and they're all done beautifully with heavy, heavy investments. And with that being said, we need to do everything we can to help them, as well as existing businesses that have been there for many years. And the one way to do that, special events. It is huge. Now, for instance, this day, these retailers, restaurants would not have had a good day without this event. Okay, that's a fact. I think we can all agree on any special event we have in the downtown, any restaurant's going to have a better than average day, right? I think we can all agree to that. So we need to keep this going. So I agree. I'm in agreement with Councilor Robinson. Proposed locations 3 and 4, you know, Middle and Palmer make the most sense, centralized. I think the downtown retailers will get the most bang for their buck with this location. From, you know, this footsteps that way or footsteps that way, everything's right there. So it was well attended for year 1. So let's build it. Let's try and get it better. You know, we have the folk festival. We have is Winterfest on track, Peter? How's that going with planning?
It's going to be really fantastic this year.
Yes, I seen with the tent on the Enterprise Bank last year. I attended it, and then it's coming back to its former glory, if you will. So let's stay on that as well. And then you can't even get into an establishment after 9, 10 o'clock. It's tough to, which is a good thing, right? Mm-hmm. So what we need to do is one of these quarterly. So the only gap I can see is maybe in the spring. You know, April, May, maybe a spring fling with food trucks or whatnot. So I'd like to see, going on, an additional festival or 2, along with the music festivals and the other stuff we have, are all helpful. Mm-hmm. You know, and we're also working on parking. We're trying to take a look at the parking to make that more friendly. So folks in the city will come down. If we can even offer free parking on weekends, no overnight, why not? Right? Get people in the garages, get them downtown, patronizing downtown restaurants. Okay, I've been there. I know what these people are going through, and we need to help them. So, Mr. Mayor, through you to the manager. So, Mr. Manager, as budget season is fast approaching, so please consider some extra special events in the downtown. Okay, it's very, very important. It's not all that much money. You know, if we can get some sponsors and street closures and details, but it's really not all that much money. So we can do it. So I want you to please consider that as you're putting together the budget, please. So thank you, Peter, for your hard work and your department. And I want to see us get better and improve on what we have already. Okay? Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor.
A motion to accept the place on file by Councilor Gitcher, seconded by Councilor Dakota. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes. Returning back to Section 4, Public Hearings, Utility, 4.1. Boston Gas, National Grid requests upgrade of existing gas main along Barrowshead Avenue. Need to have a motion to refer to the wire inspector. I'm sorry. Open up to all those in favor. In favor? In favor? No. The push the meeting is closed. All those in opposition? Opposition? Opposition?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Stephen Conant, I live at 34 Barrowshead Avenue. I'm not here to oppose it. I understood there was just like to get some more information about the project.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is, if it gets approved this evening, it goes to the wire inspector for a report. It'll come back to us again with their recommendations or whatnot, and then at that point in time, we'll have the public hearing to do it.
Public hearing at that point in time.
You can come down to my office and look at the plan and stuff.
Oh, even better? Okay. All right. So the clerk will give you the information. Do you have, Sean, you want to grab his information? And what we'll do is when the plan comes back, when the approval comes back, we can send it out to you, you can check it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so the notice that we got tonight, about tonight's meeting, was just that it was on the agenda?
No, it is on the agenda. It's to go to the wire inspector for a report and a recommendation.
Okay, I guess I was under the impression that there would be somebody from National Grid here to describe the project.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could put it, Diana Cuddy.
Hi. Good evening. I'm Diana Cuddy from National Gas, 170 Data Drive, Waltham, Massachusetts, and I'm available to answer any questions you have on the project, regarding this project.
Okay, Ms. Cuddy, we have a resident of the area has a question for you, okay?
Sure, yes.
Good, sir.
Thank you. It's mostly just regard of timing. I mean, when is this scheduled? How long will it take? What will the street closures be related to it? Traffic control, and what the repaving of the street will be afterwards?
Okay, so typically, we don't do a lot of construction over the winter, maybe 1 or 2 jobs. All of that depends on the permitting, if the permitting, city permitting group will allow us to do the work over the winter. It's a 640-foot gas replacement project. Duration would be 4 to 6 weeks, depending on weather and conditions. Traffic management plan, that's something that we submit when we apply for the street opening permit. So we work with the city engineer on that to fine tune it however they like it. And what was your other question?
It had to do with the paving. Is it will be paved from curb to curb when the work is complete, or just patched?
If the street is not under a moratorium, that it hasn't been paved in the last 5 years, it will be patched. Those conditions also are in the street opening permit. As a company, we can't go over and above what's in the permit, because that, for this particular project, it's a gas replacement project, so the cost goes back to the ratepayer, so any paving costs incurred as a result of the permit would go back to the ratepayer. So we keep it pretty strict to what's customary.
So that would be up to the city engineer as to who picks up the balance of the cost if you don't take all of it, as putting it onto the rate base?
So it's been budgeted through our program sponsor for a standard patch, which would be, typically it's the width of the trench plus a foot on each side. But if the street has recently been paved, the city engineer in the permit will require curb to center line or curb to curb, and then they go back and they determine whether they can afford to do that extra paving. But I don't believe this is a guaranteed street, so it would just be a typical trench patch.
Yeah, the only paving that's been done are the patches that you've done 4 times in the last 2 years. So it's kind of beat up. It hasn't been done in 5 years. So I'm addressing the city council at this point, if it could be repaved curb to curb. And also, when that's done, consideration given to having, I think they call them speed humps now. Beresford Avenue is a cut-through street, and if you want to come out on my street between the hours of 4 and 6, 3:30 and 6:30, you'll find that the typical speed down that street is about 35 miles an hour. Most of the cars are going back to New Hampshire. It's very dangerous. There's young kids on that street. My neighbor Dave was almost run over the other day. So I know that's not part of the National Grid proposal, but just since it is going to be paved and it's work done in the street, I just asked for that consideration by the council. Thank you.
Thank you for calling. Mr. Manager?
The time to speak.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Through to the speaker. Mr. Conant, we'll be doing that. We'll be talking to the engineer's office, and they'll figure out where we're at as far as the RSR rating on that particular street and what needs to happen. The speaker from National Grid was correct. If it is going to be on our repaving list, we would end up taking that money and redoing it anyhow. So
Okay.
the cart is not necessarily before the horse yet, but it's close. But we should have this information within the coming weeks.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Mr. Manager. And also, with regard to the speed hump, I think the city had some recommendations. We may have missed that, but if there's still opportunity to have that considered, we'd very much appreciate it. I think it's
Those are all fan favorites
fairly-
throughout the city. So
It's a fairly unique street,
Yep.
and I tell anybody who lives in Belvedere, Mr. Belanger, it's the way you get to Drake it.
Right. But they're all fan favorites, and we've tested that out. So it's one of the things that our engineers, as well as our traffic engineer, is very well aware of when we start to redo these roads, just like that.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, members of the council.
Yes, go ahead. Take care. Council Getcha?
Through you to the manager. Mr. Manager, do you know if Beresford is on, the reason why they're replacing this, because it's on the replacement list?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, through to the council. The engineer's office, really, just within the last year and a half to 2 years, we've really been communicating, I think, well with National Grid, as well as with our water department, et cetera. And per discussions I've had with folks, sometimes people will be confused, but we did a street over here, we didn't do this particular street, it's because we're waiting on National Grid. This could be one of those instances, but when it goes up to the engineer's office, we will figure it out if that's the case. So we will be looking at Barris. I have to imagine that our engineers have looked at this and then released this to National Grid to say this could be an opportunity. However, it could be another matter where National Grid is actually contacting us because this particular 4-inch main is in need of being updated. So one way or the other, we will be having this discussion about speed humps and paving in that area.
Mr. Mayor, through you to the National Grid representative, did the city reach out to you to have this replaced, or is this something that was in National Grid's replacement program?
So according to, I'm just checking now, we do have your list of upcoming streets to be paved. I'm just looking to see, I don't see this street on the current list, which is a dynamic list anyway. We have pulled this project forward. As the resident said, there's a lot of patches. So due to the leak-prone history of this particular length of pipe, we pulled this forward to replace it. And all the existing patches will go away because it'll be one long patch where the replacement main is going.
I would just ask, as we did on Sanders Ave, that this not be done until the spring and we don't do any of this during the winter as we did. And if it does get done during the winter, that they do curb to curb, because if this isn't an emergency, then there's really no community that's allowing this type of work to be done. Thank you.
I would just, if I could thank National Grid, I mean, I was not kidding when saying they've been out there 3 times. I had my gas shut off. It was due to problems within the street. So I appreciate National Grid moving it up on their list and appreciate the council's consideration. It is not, we don't want to have another Lawrence here. But it's 3 houses that have done it 3 times in the last year.
Any opposition? Opposition. That portion of the meeting is closed. Motion by Council Mercia, second by Council Janess, sent to a wire inspector for a report recommendation. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, passes. On to 6.3, communication. The appointment of Roland Beauchene to the Citizens Advisory Committee. The motion to accept the place filed by Council Robinson, second by Council Scott. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes. 6.4, communication. City manager requests out-of-state travel. One city council, city manager DPD. The motion to adopt by Council Janess, second by Council Robinson. Roll call.
Council Noon.
Yes.
Council Robinson.
Yes.
Mayor Rourke.
Yes.
Council Scott.
Yes.
Council Yam. Council Belanger.
Yes.
Council Chow.
Yes.
Council Dakota.
Yes.
Council Getchia.
Yes.
Council Janess.
Yes.
Council Mercia.
Yes.
And yes.
7, orders of the city manager, 7.1, 60-day trial. Waive the full reading and second reading by title. Motion to adopt by Councilor Scott, second by Councilor Dakota. Roll call.
Council Noon.
Yes.
Council Robinson.
Yes.
Mayor Rourke.
Yes.
Council Scott.
Yes.
Council Yam. Council Belanger.
Yes.
Council Chow.
Yes.
Council Dakota.
Yes.
Council Getchia.
Yes.
Council Janess.
Yes.
Council Mercia.
Yes.
Yes.
Reports, Section 8, 8.1, subcommittee reports. Are we going to go tonight, Councilor Getchia?
And where it go?
All right. A nonprofit organization subcommittee, November 5th, 2024. Chairman Getchia.
Thank you, Mayor Rourke. The minutes of the nonprofit organization subcommittee held on November 5th, 2024 in the City Council chambers. Present were members Councilor Noon, Councilor Robinson. Also present were Councilor Mercia, Councilor Belanger, Lowell Youth Leadership Board members Andy Lopez, Lisa and Sarah, Coach from and Above Board members Larry Finn and Paul Casella. The subcommittee first heard from the board members from Lowell Youth Leadership on the annual free summer camp held at Greater Lowell Technical High School for kids between the ages of 10 and 16. They noted that the program started in 2022 and has grown from 120 kids to 180 kids, with some kids still being left on a wait list. The program offers over 30 activities: dance, track and field, swimming, basketball, golf, arts, robotics, science, carpentry, good nutrition, team building, finance, healthy relationship, rock climbing, boxing, yoga, flag football, and more. The program also includes inspirational speakers, including poets, doctors, state representatives, former professional athletes, coaches, mental health professionals, and the City of Lowell's mayor. Sakari Chow at the time, and also Mayor Rook. In addition to all the activities and instructions, Lowell Youth Leadership provides free transportation, free breakfast, and free lunch. The program runs 4 weeks in the summertime, and they start taking applications in the springtime. You can find more at www.lylp.org. The second group of speakers were Larry Finn and Paul Casella from Coats from and Above. Mr. Finn highlighted that Coats from and Above was founded by him in honor of his mother, Ann. Being one of 13 kids, Mr. Finn understands the need for a warm jacket in the winter. Coats from and Above is a nonprofit devoted to providing warm coats to children and families in the Greater Lowell community. Larry highlighted how happy he was as a child to receive a new winter coat from his Aunt Ann each winter. Coats from and Above works with local schools to identify the kids in need and delivers new jackets. High school kids are a challenge because they actually have to go and be measured to actually get a jacket. This year they have seen more students in need and are fastly delivering the jackets. With the help of Lowell Fire Department, they will deliver over 500 coats this year, 400 new coats alone. Even with all their hard work, they still need more donations. If you're able to donate, please send donations to 16 Benton, Benton Street, Lowell, Mass. 01851. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Chairman Getcha. Move on, number 2, Economic Downtown Development Subcommittee, November 12th, 2024, Chairman Janess.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Last Tuesday, the Economic Downtown Development Subcommittee met in these chambers. Present on roll call were myself, Councilors Belanger and Noon. Also present were Connor Baldwin, the city's CFO, Austin Ball, the assistant CFO, Councilor Mercier, Terry Ryan, the parking director, and Councilor Robinson. We met to discuss the 3 motions that had been referred to the subcommittee relating to the changes in the on-street parking regulations that we as a council passed back in April. The 3 issues were looking at possibly extending the 2-hour maximum time limit, increasing the amount of outreach being done for education on these changes, and the size of the parking zones to facilitate and allow for people to better patronize the downtown businesses. We had a good discussion which consisted of various business owners and residents, each offering their opinions and the challenges with the current state or the proposed changes. It was a good discussion with some good ideas that we ultimately referred to the CFO by motion to take a look at this and come up with any proposed changes that they can bring back for the council to vote on. That's about it. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Moving on, 3, Senior Citizen Subcommittee, November 14th, 2024, Chairwoman Mercier.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On Thursday, November 14th at 1:00 p.m., the Senior Subcommittee met at the Senior Center to talk about any community issues concerning our seniors. Present were Kim Gagnon, Director of the Senior Center Council on Aging, Catherine Moses, our Energy Czar Manager, and Victor Vargas, our Energy Advocate, and Michael Gary, our City Clerk. Also present were subcommittee members Councilor Giccia and Councilor Dakota and myself. And credit must be given to Lynn Daly, who was responsible for the topic of energy and electricity discussed at an exercise class one afternoon amongst all the residents, and they were the ones that came to the meeting looking for answers. We knew this in advance, so that's why these people were present from the city. We began the meeting at 1 p.m., attended by 23 people in attendance. The meeting ended at 2:20. Catherine Moses started the discussion by stating that her and Victor, our energy advocate, was here to help them understand their electric bill and answer any questions that they had. Ms. Moses outlined the recent informational flyer sent to residents regarding their energy bill. She defined renewable energy as an as an energy from an ongoing source. Ms. Moses noted that the Colonial Power Group is the city consultant and First Point Power is a city supplier. Catherine went on to explain the three options available with the new contract. The default option was the standard, which allows 45% more renewable as required by law. Second option, Green 100, would allow 100% more renewable energy as required by law and is the most expensive option, with the primary concern being saving greenhouse gas emission and supporting clean energy development. The final option would be the least expensive option, which is Green 5, which allows 5% more renewable as required by law for those whose primary concern is managing utility bill costs. All accounts currently enrolled in the city's program will be switched to First Point as of December 2024 meter reads. But this change will be noted on the December 24th bill and will be seen on the January 2025 bills. Catherine, our Energy Czar, believe that we have a great contract with the First Point Power program. Victor Vargas spoke on behalf of informing those in attendance that he is available to help residents understand which option to take. He will help residents change the product or explain why the city's choice is the best. He can show you how to enroll. He invited residents to meet him at his City Hall office, or those who refer others, even if you were not at the meeting, you can get help in the office. Visitors at Victor's office at City Hall is open on Tuesdays from 4:30 to 6:30 and on Thursdays from 10:30 to 12:30. Victor issued a warning regarding outside third-party contracting. We heard from many attendees who asked questions and commented and thanked and congratulated Catherine and Victor for having three options and only a slight increase overall of about $4. A discussion also took place at the subcommittee about warming stations at the senior center and former district court buildings, the homeless sleeping at the Whistler House property, and speeding limits on Boylston, and speed limits on Boylston Avenue. And no matter where you go, people want speed bumps. It's a popular commodity. If we actually sold them, we could handle the whole budget. But anyway, I'm just kidding. But anyway, thank you. That's my report. Thank you.
Councilor. Number 4, Rules and Election Law Subcommittee, November 19th, 2024. Chairman Chow.
We'll defer that to next week, Mr. Mayor.
Sounds good. Motion to accept the reports as progress by Councilor Gittia, seconded by Councilor Janess. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes. Section 9, Petitions, 9.1, Revival Aesthetics. Victoria Costello requests installation of an overhanging sign at 45 Palmer Street. A motion to refer to Law Department for report recommendation by Councilor Mercia, seconded by Councilor Noon. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes. Section 10, City Council Executive Session. 10.1, executive session to review, accept, release the City Council Executive Session minutes calendar year 2024 from January 1st until this evening, 11:19. Now, if someone wants to make a motion right now to approve the minutes.
I want to do that. Thank you.
By Councilor Gittia. Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilor Noon.
Yes.
Councilor Robinson.
Yes.
Mayor Rourke.
Yes.
Councilor Scott.
Yes.
Councilor Yam. Councilor Belanger.
Yes.
Councilor Chow.
Yes.
Councilor Dakota.
Yes.
Councilor Gittia.
Thank you. Yes.
Councilor Janess.
Yes.
Councilor Mercia. 10 yeas.
Yes.
Great. Announcements, if any? No. Motion to adjourn by Councilor Mercia, seconded by Councilor Dakota.
Is that 7:30? 7:29. Okay. Good. I had to check my eyes. I thought I was seeing things. We're around here at 7:15. Monster Bash.
7:05.
Say
Let's review Reese's Peanut Butter.